असुवन से भरे नैना आजा का
Boodoo's Funeral Home, a leader in the funeral industry for over 25 years, is now at number 2 Southern Main Road, Cunupia. At Boodoo's, you are assured quality service and affordable funeral packages so that your loved ones get the send-off they deserve. Boodoo's can ship and receive worldwide. When the inevitable occurs, you can rely on Boodoo's Funeral Home, funeral directors and embalmers. Now at number 2 Southern Main Road, Cunupia. 24-hour service available. Phone 370-8036. Boodoo's Funeral Home, a leader in the funeral industry. Boodoo's Funeral Home, a leader in the funeral industry for over 25 years, is now at number 2 Southern Main Road, Cunupia. At Boodoo's, you are assured quality service and affordable funeral packages so that your loved ones get the send-off they deserve. Boodoo's can ship and receive worldwide. When the inevitable occurs, you can rely on Boodoo's Funeral Home, funeral directors and embalmers. Now at number 2 Southern Main Road, Cunupia. 24-hour service available. Phone 370-8036. Boodoo's Funeral Home, a leader in the funeral industry.
Okay, Seeram everybody. So, we know the purpose of being here today. I know it's a sad time in the life of the family, but this is inevitable for everyone. What are we going to do today? Today we will do the Antyeshi Sanskar, which is the last of the major 16 sanskar that a Hindu will do in his or her lifetime. All these sanskars are purifications, right? They are to provide the body, the mind and the intellect with cleansing, because we believe in reincarnation, not so? As a Hindu, right? So we believe as one door closes, as this door has closed today, my glasses keep fogging up though, so another will open. So this Antyeshi Sanskar, the service we perform, and I said we, because it's not the Pandit, it's everybody. It not only will benefit the Atma of the deceased, Mr. Seeram Ramsundar, but also help to bring a sense of closure for the family members, loved ones, neighbors, etc. Right? So I'll ask everyone at this point, we will begin immediately. I'm a man, normally move on time, so I'll ask everyone, please stand. All right. All right, so you stay close to me, right? Yeah. All right, so I want you to, yeah. So I want you to stay right here, stay right here. All right, class stands on closed eyes as we begin with a few opening prarthana. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gato piva yaha smure pundarikaksham sabhaya bhiyantaha suchihi. Right, face out from us. Come one, face out. Wash hands. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Pretend to sit. Om Raghavaya Namaha. That's it. Om Navravaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Wash your hands. Om Govindaya Namaha. Right hand ring finger. Om Kushmale Stitu Brahma. Left hand ring finger. Om Kushmale Stitu Brahma. Kushmare Janadana Kushage Shankara Devastena Putam Karomyaham. Om Tilakam Cha Mahapanyam Pavitram Papanashanam Apada Harate Nityam Lalate Harichandanam. Right, you have to come to the box, right? Pan leaf with black tail flowers and a water. Right, even this one right here. Put a little water in it. Right. I'm going closer to the box now, right? So you'll bring things in, right? Alright, give him it one time. Alright, come by me. Alright, so I want you to come right here, stand in front of me. Face out. Alright, class hands and close your eyes. Take a rest name at this point. Om Vishnu 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 Adyashi Brahmanoye Dvitiye Paradeshi Seta Varaka Pevai So Vadman Vantare Ashtavim Satademe Yoge Kare Pratam Chanane Chenradeshi Kuni Programe ज्येष्ठ मासे कृष्ण पक्षे एकादशी तिथौ बुधवासरे उत्तर भाद्रपद नक्षत्रे पृथ्वी योगे भवकरणे मीन राशि तिथे सूर्ये अमुक राशि तिथे शशांके च शेषेषु ग्रहेषु यथा यथा राशि स्थानातिथेषु कश्यप गोत्रस्य take a Rasi name right now Krishna Mukha namnah Seeram Mohan Ramsundar Pretasya Antyeshtir Karma Aham Kareshe. Just rest it right here. Come on. Don't bow anything. Just rest it down. Okay. Give him a bit of flower again. Take a flower in your hand again. Alright. I'll ask everyone at this point, kindly take your seat. Alright. And as you sit, clasp hands and close eyes and contemplate any form of Bhagwan Vishnu. If you are not Hindu, well, whatever form you reside in, as God is in your heart. So you can focus on that form, right? Om Yam Brahma Varunendaru Damarutaha Tonvanti Devyai Stravai Vedahi Sangha Parakramo Panishader Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Targaten Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidur Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrasham Meghavadhanam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhirjanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavayaharan Sarvaroke Kanatam. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. Rest on the same pani. That's it. Okay, so you're going to do some offerings as Auntie brings it, right? First thing is water. So it's standing right there, just offering water across the body about 3 times. No, just standing offer. Go ahead. Om Kashyap Gotrasa Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasa Mityastane Shiva Nimitam Snanam Mairite Tovopete Shatam. Right, Chandano. You use right hand, index finger from. Okay. Right. Look for it. That has his forehead. You can come here and come down from. Right. Over his forehead here and come down. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya Mityastane Shiva Nimitam Gandham Mairite Tovopatashtam. Essence followed by mala. Right. You just spraying across the body. Just spray. Oh, okay then. No problem. Go ahead. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya. Spray. Right. Mityastane Shiva Nimitam Abhida Guradam Mairite Tovopate Shatam. You just rest some flowers and now realize the mala already placed inside there. Yeah. Right. Arti after place the flowers. You can just put it right there. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya Mityastane Shiva Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Tovopate Shatam. Nimitam Pushpamala Mairite Tovopate Shatam. I want you to walk around the box 5 times. Okay. When you're walking, keep the arti to the box all the time. Keep your hand towards the box, right? Okay. He's going to make five rounds, right? Alright, so you start. Right? Om Yam Dware Maha Gore Andhena Tamasavrate Tachavalorkanataya Deepa Yamupatishtatam. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya Mityastana Shiva Nimitam Deepa Mairite Tovopatishtatam. Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ko dukha dukare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ko dukha dukare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jab charo taraf adiyara ho. Just 5, right? Just 5. Make 5. Continue. Yeah, you good. Just make 5. Adiyara ho, asha ka dur kinara ho, aur kevina kevanhara ho. Piratu hi bera par kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Right, so you take the pin down, approximate with your right hand in, and just go for it, right? Just rest it so, and rest it. I'll be right here with you, don't worry. Huh? One, and then after you do the next one. Don't worry, you're going good. Right, so hold it like this, hold it like this, pan and everything. Hold it in your hand. Take your time and turn it over and settle it, right? Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya Mityasana Shiva Nimitam Eshate Pendo Mairate to Vopatishatam. Put the pan for the base. Open your hand a little bit, just a little bit, and let some fold. Om Kashyap Gotrasya Seeram Ramsundar Pretyasya Mityasana Shiva Nimitam Eshate Pendo Mairate to Vopatishatam. Good? Right, now we're going to the $5 now. Right, these are a little different. Bring some black till, done? Right, you're holding this black till in your right hand. Every mantra say, you place it on the doll, and as a point, you're going to rest it on the positions of the body. Right? Yeah, so if you open your right hand, just empty about 3/4, or if not, till first. Till first. Right. Right. Just now, sprinkling on one doll. Take some. Yes, some. Om Vasuvo Pavitramasi Shatadharam Vasuvo Pavitramasi Sahastradharam Devaswa Savita Punatu Vasuvo Pavitrena Shatadharena Suva Kamadushaha Om Vasubhyaha Namaha Om Preta Vahai Namaha. Place a little bit from your right hand on one of them for me. Right here, right here. From your right hand. Just put a little bit. Right. Next one, and after the end you put them by each one. This is the second one, right? After you put it on top. Right. Yes, now. Om Varuna Shyotam Bhanamasi Varunasya Skamba Sarajanistu Varunasi Ritasar Anyasi Varunasya Ritasad Namasi Varunasya Ritasad Namasida Om Varunai Namaha, Om Preta Sakai Namaha. A little bit on the second one. Third one. Om Utana Ahir Burdhanyaha Shinu Vaja Ekapa Pritavi Samudraha Vishwadeva Rita Vridho Huva Nastuta Mantraha Kavish Shasta Avantu Om Ajay Kapadaya Sadishtit Saditishte Om Pretapai Namaha. Third one. Fourth one. Om Shivo Namasi Savitishte Pita Namaste Astu Mamahi Gum Siha Nivaratayam Yayu Shenadhyaya Prajanai Rasorasai Suprajai Swai Suvirayai Om Ahir Bhudhanyai Namaha. Om Preta Bhumi Pai Namaha. Two more, right? Or one more?
One more.
Nah. That was the third one. You're supposed to have two more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's only 3 mantras I give you.
Oh, well, yeah. Something went wrong.
Don't worry. They were just off on 2 of them for me. Oh no, you're correct, you're correct. Last one, you're correct, you're correct. Om Pushantava Vrateva Yana Rishe Makadhashchana Stotra Rasta Ehasmasi Om Purushne Namaha Om Preta Haratre Namaha. Last one, you're correct. Or forward. All.
Oh, one.
Just got your hand, she got your hand. Right, take the first one now. That's alright, all of it. Take the first one, pick up the first one, everything. Put it by his head. Second one. Put it by the right arm. So somewhere here. Somewhere here. Just average. Next one by the left arm. Next one, place around the navel, so maybe around here. Or maybe around here. Just average. The last one between the legs, so you can place somewhere around there. Alright, Krishna, you just stand for a while now while I do another service, right? So you can stand and face. I don't want you to sit. You gotta stand. Stand and face the program, alright? Okay, Seeram again. So at this point, I will go straight into my part, which is about 20 to 30 minutes Bhagavad Gita recital. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit, right? Seeram, huh? I have the mic. Seeram. Well,
everybody walk out then, right?
You could do it?
Yeah.
Well, okay then, no problem.
I'll go ahead and do that.
But not right now, not when crowd here. Yeah, I want it to remain seated. But thanks. Right. So, what is death? So, in a Hindu perspective, philosophy, death is simply when the Atma leaves the body. What is the Atma? It's the soul. It's spark of divinity, right? That is death. It's simple. When the Atma leaves, the body falls. It becomes lifeless. But why we die? That's a whole different question. So uncle made 82 years. Now you might think, well, he reached a good age, and you might say, well, he was old, he lived his life. But for those that are close to him, they may think differently. We know he wasn't in the best of state, but the one that love him will always wish that somebody recuperate and live longer. Isn't this the case? When you love somebody, you will like them to be here, and that is the truth. You know they may not be the fittest person as they used to be, but this thing called love that we experience, the attachment that we feel, we want to keep them here. I've been there myself, so I know what it is like. Right? But why we die? How come uncle got 82? And right now I'm speaking, some probably son or daughter at 2 or 1 year or 3 years probably just died. Maybe somebody had a miscarriage as I'm speaking. Maybe somebody just lost their life while in an accident. Isn't this the case? Somebody probably drowned in a pool somewhere. Doesn't sound nice, but this is the reality. While some are celebrating marriage or birth of a child, some in sorrow with the death of an individual. This cycle of birth and death. Why we die? Well, in Hindu philosophy, uncle has finished his karmic obligations, which is, when you are born, we believe that a time is stamped on your forehead, virtually. You are given a set date. And in this time you are allowed to enjoy your life, live and do what you want. But you must go to God. A lot of people, as I go into Bhagavad Gita, I will expand on that. They got carried away with this life, the physical, the material, right? But once that time has finished, whether you are 26, 28, 82, 90, you will go. You could beg God and tell him how much, listen, I'm not ready. Your time has come and you will have to leave. So uncle was allowed 82 years. Why? Because in this life, he had learned everything he could have learned as Mr. Seeram Ramsundar. There's nothing else that would have benefited him. So God realized this is the time to take you. And why he took him? If you could learn everything you have learned in this life, then the rest of the time spent here is like a waste. You're wasting time. So he will take you and put you in a new situation so you could learn new things. And these things that we learn are in essence to go to God. When you were in primary school, first we learned with phonics, A for apple, and we learn. But we wouldn't stay at that level. Isn't it the case? You have to move on. Preschool, primary school, secondary, tertiary education. You continue to move and learn. Such is the purpose of this body. When you have finished learning everything, you are taken. Nice? Now, before I read Bhagavad Gita, I want to tell you a quick katha, a very short story. Gautam Buddha, in history, when he roamed this planet Earth, there was this lady who lost her only son, only child, of course. Now, I don't know if you have lost any children, but if you have, you will know the pain. Death is painful for any level. Husband, wife, daughter, son, neighbor, parent, you name it. But when you lose a child and a parent, for me personally, the pain is quite different. So I could imagine this lady when she lost her only child and son. She was grieving. So she went to Gautam Buddha and she explained the situation. Well, you know, but he had already known what had happened. So she asked him, can you bring my son back to life? And strangely, he said yes. But here's my condition. He is saying to her, I will bring him back to life if you can go to a home in the village and give you mustard seeds. So that is all you have to ask for. Mustard seeds, and they will give me it, right? But the other part of the statement was, you must collect these mustard seeds from a house that have never experienced death. This is the condition. So she went. I felt she left Gautam with hope, Buddha with hope. So when she went, no, she knocked. Maybe some doors said, yes, we had mustard seeds. Maybe some said no. But I could imagine when she said, do you have mustard seed? They said yes. She probably felt happy. I'm going to get my son back. But then she heard the other part of the statement. So she asked, did you have death in the house? And they said yes. So they had to close the door on her. So therefore she went. Some houses, they had mustard seeds, some they didn't. But all of them experienced death. So what was the lesson here? At the end of the day, she returned to Gautam Buddha dejected, unhappy, extremely, extremely disappointed and sad. But when she reached there, she explained, well, you know, I was not able to fulfill your request. So he humbly explained to her that when I sent you to collect the mustard seeds, it wasn't that you will get them, but for you to understand that every house have experienced death at some time or the other. This is part of life, you know, and I'm sure you will know what I'm talking about. If you haven't experienced death in your house as yet, you may have neighbors or somebody in the village that you have. So it is all around, right? Now what I want you to do, class stands and close your eyes. Krishna, go and take a yellow flower from and come back. Take a yellow flower and come back, right? Right, stay in the same place. Okay, so class stands and close your eyes. If you are a Hindu, you contemplate on the form of Bhagavan Krishna for me. I will give you an image for you to think about. He is standing with his feet crossed, the yellow dhoti he is wearing, the peacock in his forehead, and the basuri, which is the flute, in his hand. I will do a few verses of Gita Dhyan, and then I will read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15 for you. A small amount of slokas today. So we contemplate of Bhagavan Krishna. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhe Mahabharatam Advaitamitra Varshanin Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayanim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshanim Namastute Vyasa Vishala Budve Pularavindaya Tapata Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Tera Purnaha Prajalito Jnanamayaha Pradipaha. I'll go to the end now. Mukam Karoti Vachalum Pangum Langhayate Girim Yarkripatamaham Vande Paramanandana Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendaru Damarutaha Tunvanti Devyaistravai Vedahi Sangha Parakramo Panisharer Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Targaten Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidur Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihai Lala ki Jai. Right, you can assume a relaxed position. So here is now where I will read from Bhagavad Gita, and about 15-20 minutes, then we will move forward. Right. So, if you are not familiar with this book, it is comparable to the Vedas, which are said to be the original Hindu scriptures. Sanskrit, the original written language. Bhagavan Krishna represents the Supreme. And who he is sitting next to him is Arjuna. Arjuna. He is really a form of Lord Krishna. But who Arjuna is anybody who is willing to listen to scriptures and to change your life, right? Anyone at all. So, I'll read for you. Enter Arjuna, and he says, Nataraba sayate surye nashashankuna pavakaha yadgatva nani vartante tadvang paramang mama. So this is what he says. Neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine that supreme self-effulgent state, attaining which they never return to this world. That is my supreme abode. So Lord Krishna is saying here, neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine my state. Let me explain this. Well, we are in the rainy season in Trinidad. The sun is not as hot, but just a few weeks ago, you would have experienced some terrible heat. But we know the seasons are not straight rainy and sunshine as it used to be in the past. It's mixed, right? But if you feel the temperature of the sun in Trinidad and globally, we know the effects of global warming. It's very hot. The power of Surya Bhagwan can never be underestimated, the sun. If you go out in the sun, I tell you, go and stand up for 2 hours, 12 o'clock, you will say, Baba, you crazy. The sun will burn me. I'll feel the heat. I might get exhaustion, heat stroke. And you have all right, because it's very hot. The power of sunlight will illumine this planet. But Bhagavan Krishna is saying, that same sun, nor the moon which reflects sunlight, or any illuminary, meaning that, you see all these lights we have here, and all the malls and all the countries, all the electricity that is created. You say if you take all of that and all the suns and all the planets and all the galaxies, you take them to Satyalok, where Lord Krishna is. He says, none of them can shine. In other words, God created all of this. So if you take the sun next to God, can the sun outshine God? It came from God. You all follow what I'm saying? But the reason why he's trying to explain this is, that is ego. I'm coming to that just now, right? Now he said, attaining which they never return to this world. That is my supreme abode. So we believe in reincarnation as Hindus. And I'll come to that just now and show you how it does exist. He says, once you reach here, you never come back here. So a lot of people think, well, this place is nice, you know, Babs, I don't mind staying here. But when you get sick and you are suffering, or you experience death, or the person you love the most left, this life changes for you. Second sloka I'm going to read for you. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhutaha sanatana manashashnaning dhyani prakriti stani karshati. Hear what Bhagavan Krishna says. He says the eternal jiva atma in this body is a fragment of my own self. And it is that alone which draws around itself the mind and the 5 senses which abide in Prakriti. Let me explain this. All of you here, you have a soul. You could be Hindu, Presbyterian, Christian, Muslim. Doesn't really matter to me. Me personally. I look beyond all those things. What is important to me is your behavior, your etiquette, how you carry yourself, how we treat each other. Isn't this right? I'll comment to that just now, right? He says the eternal Jivatma in you and me, which was an uncle here. And I said was because it left. He said that is a fragment of my own self. So Lord Krishna is telling you here, the spark of divinity that is in you, that makes you feel like you are living right now, that belongs to him, nothing else. Here why? Uncle's body and all of us here, we comprise of 5 physical elements. The gross body, what we call. It's called Pancha Mahabhuta. I'm going through each one quickly. First one is called Akash. Akash is space or ether. There's space around us, there's space in the body. It says when you die, this space leaves. Therefore, a person who is dying or dead will fall and collapse. You will never see them stand and walking. They will sit and collapse, or on the bed, they will remain there. Isn't this the case? Because Akash has left. That is one. The second one now is called Vayu. Vayu is air. When you are dying, you take your very last breath and it exits. When it exits, your breathing ceases. Your lungs cannot contract and relax. Your ribs cannot move up and down. Therefore, you stop breathing. That's 2. The third one is Agni, which is fire. It says when this leaves the body, it leaves the body in the form of heat. Now, if you ever felt somebody who has passed away, and especially if they were in the morgue and you feel them after, you would know that feeling of ice cold death. It was something I could never forget from my parents. Because I remember hugging them and being close to them, talking. When I felt them, it was quite different. That is the cool. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand what I'm saying. There's something that stays with you. Then you appreciate the living and a warmth of a hug, which is what I encourage children to always hug your parents. Not just for birthdays and Christmas, every day. Because you never know what is waiting tomorrow. All right? Anyway, that was the third one. Apaha, or water, is the fourth. When this leaves the body, it says the blood circulatory system shuts down. In other words, the heart cannot pump anything. Your lymphatic system, everything shuts down. Scriptures say sometimes when it leaves, it is seen as fraud coming out from the mouth of a dying person. And the last one is Prithvi, which is earth. When earth starts to leave the body, we say in English term that decomposition sets in, or decay. Now, why I told you this? Bhagavan Krishna said, the eternal Jivatma in this body is a fragment of my own self. He says, it is that alone which draws around itself the mind and the five senses. So I'm coming to the second part of the sloka. Now, I feel I'm good looking. My wife, my son might think otherwise, my daughter, I don't know. But some people feel they are the greatest thing that God created. Right? Ego. Coming to that in second sloka, third sloka just now. But all of this good, pretty looks at some point, it will fade. We know this, right? As you get older, it fades. But when you're young, you might spend 2 hours with hair gel and thing in front of the hair. As you get older, hair going well. You have to change the time, put on makeup or something, right? Well, I'm losing mine too, so I understand. But this is life. Nothing stays the same. But when you're young, you cannot see that, right? Your appreciation for life is different. And that's okay, you are young. But we spend a lot of time, and I don't mind, look okay, look good. I need a shave right now. Look good. Put your makeup, bathe, make yourself look good. This is a temple, treat it well. But it is not the most important thing. A lot of people concerned with how they look and to forget the nature of the heart. So you see, we are well endowed. We buy the best things for ourselves. But when it comes to spirituality and how we treat others, it's quite different. We look good, but the heart is dark. Bhagavan says, all of these 5 things will leave. And uncle, everything will leave today. He will no longer, well, he's been buried. But if it was cremation, it would have gone instantly. But little by little, everything will go back to the surface, isn't this? It will be absorbed back into the ground. Grass will grow from the materials, the organic substances within our body, the elements. We are all recycled material, whether we like to accept it or not. Now, when these 5 things leave, Bhagavan Krishna said, the Atma, which is the Jiva, when it left the body, wherever it is, it took the mind and the senses. Now, it cannot take the eye, the nose, the mouth, you know. It takes the sense of it, the ability of it. So, his Atma right now has his mind and the ability of his senses. You know what that is? Let me tell you quickly. Antakaran is a package that goes with the soul. It's like a vacuum. It takes it with it. In the mind, you have a number of things, but I'll talk about 4 of it quickly in about just a few minutes. We have Buddhi. Buddhi is intellect. So all the young people here, and young at heart, whatever you learn and you increase yourself, you take that with you. To cook, learn to speak, learn to treat people properly, learn your particular scriptures, learn how to say good morning, because younger generation lacking that, apparently. You know, learn. You take that with you. If you learn bad things too, you take that with you. So learn good things in your life. Buddhi. Buddhi is the capacity to decipher what is right and wrong. You take that with you. Manas are thoughts. Everything you are speaking about right now, wow, this pundit probably talking too much. I don't know. Maybe I understand what he's saying. Maybe it's making sense. Or maybe I'm thinking, I'm sorry for the family that died. Maybe I'm thinking, well, I should have come. Maybe the last time you met him alive. You understand? Right now, your mind like this. It's flickering. The place cold. It's flickering. The mind never stays still. It's like a flame and breeze blowing on the wind. It's like this. Your thoughts transfer like that immediately. Your thoughts go with your mind. Buddhi, intellect, goes with your mind. This is the third one. Ahankar. So here's where I'm going to talk. Ahankar means ego. That goes with the mind also. So many people say, Baba, I have no ego. I was like, okay then. Well, I'm happy for you. But I have ego. And everybody have it. You know why? We feel we always right. Isn't this the case? You might say no, but when you go home with husband and wife, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The wife always right. Eh? All right. That's what we like to think. That's what we say in society. But this is not the case. Husband is right sometimes, wife is right sometimes. Children are right sometimes, but parents don't want to realize that. Parents are right sometimes, but children don't want to realize that. Ego makes us feel that we always know better. Isn't this the case? You're driving bad, policeman stop you. But I do anything wrong. You know you're speeding or you're pass through the traffic light, but you're fighting. You're wrong. Stay quiet. You know? We like to fight and say we never wrong. We never wrong. You know what? You know what real ego is? The stripes I give myself. I have an MBBS, BDDD, A to Z. I don't know how much title behind my name. And when I go and meet somebody for the first time, to make my presence felt, to intimidate people, I am Dr. So-and-so, Pundit so-and-so, teacher, politician so-and-so. So if children behaving bad, because parents, I'm just saying, lawyers and doctors and teachers, instead of you acknowledging your child had a problem, you want to announce yourself in a position to intimidate the teacher. Why are you doing that? You feel because you have a position, I am supposed to be afraid? You follow? This is ego, you know. People don't like to hear it, but I say what I have to say. We carry that with us. Complexion gives us ego. I am dark skinned. I don't really care about that at all. Because my parents were short. My father was fair, but I was a past sportsman. And what I did physically, people would never believe. I was a powerlifter, marathon runner, footballer. Not that I'm boasting, but I've done these things in my life. Look how small I am, right? I understand one thing. This human body is a machine. When it works with the mind, you are capable of incredible things. But we look down on people for all kinds of reasons. They are poor, you name it. They're not educated, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Ego does this, you know. Every time you walk on the road or you pass, you meet people with ego, and they don't even realize they have it. So, what I'm saying here is, leave that ego out, even though it goes with the mind. Humble yourself in life. Because I remember seeing this. You will treat people badly, all people, ethnicities, all types. You will insult them, put them down, and they themselves might have to wash you when you have passed away. They might have to decorate you in your funeral home. So humble yourself. You are better than nobody, and neither am I. We must humble ourselves because the people you don't like might have to take care of you or teach your children in school or give you medicine in the hospital. You understand? Humble yourself. The last one now is chitta. Chitta is memories. So all the memories you carry from a child to old age, your children, baby born, you're happy, you see them grow up, they got married, whatever good and bad, you carry that with you. So let me close this one now and go to the last sloka. So in other words, Bhagavan Krishna says, the Atma, which is part of me, takes the mind, which is manas thoughts, buddhi, intellect, ahankar, which is ego, and chitta is memory. That is one thing going with your mind. You know what I told you this for? Out of the four I told you about, ahankar, which is ego, stays on top right through. That one is always on top. Imagine that. When you are born with that ego from your last life. So I'm going to finish with my last sloka, right? Shriyang yadvapnoti yachapa yukta kramatishwaraha gruhitvaitani sangyati vayurgandhani vashayat. Listen to this. Extremely powerful. He says, even as the wind wafts scents from their seats, so too the Jivatma, which is the controller of the body, etc., taking the mind and the senses from the body which it leaves behind, forthwith, migrates to the body which it acquires. I'll break this down again and tell you. Even as wind wafts scents from their seat. So we have one mass, so we may not be able to access the olfactory senses today in terms of smell. But if somebody just came in here with a strong cologne or perfume, and we have been here for the last half an hour, we have gotten accustomed to the sense inside here. If somebody just came in here and the cologne is very strong, you'll smell it, not so? You go sit and open, you take good or bad smell with you and go down the road. So the wind will take a scent from flowers, even a dead animal, and pass it on the highway. You know what I'm talking about, for miles. He says, if the wind could do that, the Jivatma, which is the soul that I've been speaking about for the last 15 minutes, he says, is the controller of the body. My Atma controls me, not the other way around. He says, as I explained to you all, taking the mind and senses, which I explained to you, from the body which it leaves behind. It leaves behind one. Forthwith migrates to the body which it acquires. So let's talk about this. Many people don't believe in reincarnation. And that's fair choice because religion doesn't prescribe it. I understand that, right? I don't follow the beliefs of everybody also. So we must have respect for each other. But here what I'm going to tell you. This is a philosophy that has been accepted for thousands of years, whether you are Hindu or not. It is used to treat people. I'll give you a good example. So if you understand the memories go with you, your ego go with you, your intellect, your thoughts go with you, what happens is, when uncle after this year, Lord Krishna will determine in the form of Yamraj, he's called the god of death, according to Hindu philosophy, will determine what's going to happen to him. So some people call it Judgment Day. What you did good in your life, he will say, well, Bhagwan, I did this is what I did wrong. They will weigh it out. And they will determine if he has to be rebirthed in the form of a body or any other form, right? But we want that when somebody do and leave here, we want them to never come back to this place. As I said, you might like your life because you are educated, you may have found love. Not everybody experiences that in life. You may have a good family, you know, but there's somebody right now on the road suffering, no food, children dying, somebody was mutilated, some people were abused, and life is torment for them. They just can't wait to leave this place. So while we are happy, others suffering. You really want to come back here? You want to have to go through this thing and have happy and death and sorrow and mixed with wedding, and it is a yo-yo of emotion, a roller coaster of birth and death. But one Christian says, if you go to him, you never return to this place. However, I will tell you this. The last sloka, when he spoke about the body migrates to the one that it acquires. If my soul take my mind, when a person is born, their mind is put in with the Atma. And all the memories from their last life goes with the Atma. And all the knowledge they had goes with the Atma. So you know what happens now? In this time, we have children born. And when they're born, parents are real happy. And as soon as the child starts to speak, some of them 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, depending on the development, they are speaking well. Some parents boast, my child never crawl. They start to walk and they run in one shot. You hear children become academically inclined from a very early age. Some at 4 and 5 picking up the violin and playing. Some learning languages quickly. Some are very good at mathematics. And the parents taking stripes. That's my child. I did that. You are part of the environment influence. Yes. But 3/4 of that have nothing to do with you. That has to do with the Atma, what went with the soul and was put into the new body which it acquired. You all follow? If you understand the concept I'm telling you, this has nothing to do with Hinduism. This is philosophy. So when children are born academically inclined or could run, it has nothing to do with you, know. You have to nurture the person, yes. Do the best as parent. But the mathematician came from the last life. The person was probably a math teacher or a physicist or astrologist. They died with that information. It went to the Atma. So when they were born, they're naturally gifted at mathematics. You understand? Children could sing beautifully. They were singing their last life, and so on and so on. Maybe they can't cook further in the present life, but maybe they couldn't cook in the last life too. I don't know. But you understand my point? And how I know this is true? There's something called past regression therapy. I was profound by this when I learned about it. So physiotherapists, not physiotherapists, psychologists, they will put you, if you watch movies or you are in the field of work or you have gone through physical therapy, you will know what I'm talking about. State of hypnosis. So many people have been hurt in their lives. Maybe from parents, people they love, maybe have somebody they trusted, all types of hurt. You will know what I'm talking about, right? And you carry this trauma throughout your life. And you have hidden it away somewhere in your body. And when you have your family and children, it resurfaces and you break down crying crazy. And people want to know what's going on with you. They're going mad. But you are reliving trauma. So somebody tell you, well, go and get yourself checked now, boy. Go. So the therapist will put you to sleep and ask you, when you're in a state of hypnosis, I'm going to take you back to your life when you were young and the trauma, it happened. So we're going to deal with it, right? So you fell asleep with that in your mind, under the state of hypnosis. Lo and behold, when they awaken you to their state and they ask you information, you didn't go back to 1950 or 2002, you know. You're in back 1502, 1201. You'll follow what I'm saying? And they are astounded when people start to describe the nation and the buildings. Colonial days, they are speaking about things that person of intellect will write and understand. They're speaking of cities and names and buildings that they can name that have changed. And when the therapists go back and research, they find the person. When they ask them their name, they identify themselves as a child or a son, and now they are female. You all understand? It's quite remarkable, you know. So I have a major fear of water and flying. So I always tell people, if I'm afraid of deep water and flying, me and a plane over the ocean is the worst thing altogether. So my wife, when she got me to travel for the first time in my life for my honeymoon, I said, girl, I had to love you to do this, yes? Because I closed my eyes when the plane started, and I said, tell me when it's over. I never looked down because those are my fears. Where do you think that came from? I can't remember ever almost attempting to be in a state of drowning in this life. I can't remember falling from a height. That came from my last lives. Maybe one of my lives I drowned in water, or I fell from my height and I died, or I was crippled. So the fear of that went to my Atma life after life, and it is in this one. I'm just proposing this to you, but this is Hindu philosophy. So many of the fears that you have here have nothing to do with you, you know. It's from many lives that you take with you. But they do heal people, because when they realize the pain came from 1507, that century, that year, they go back and they confront it and they are healed. And if in this life they could walk happily now. There are thousands of documented cases. I'm not just speaking this. You can research yourself and see. No, why I told you this? The Atma lives with the body. The soul lives with the body. So, my dad, I always quote him, the late Pandit Ganesh Dutt Maharaj. He was called Small Pandit from Montplaisir Road, Campo, right here. He used to always say, every funeral you go to, as I'm closing, I will quote him. He said, let it be a lesson. He says, he would always highlight the deceased. He said, well, he has learned or she has learned all the lessons, but we are here still. The lesson in a funeral is not to go home and say, that was a good funeral, no. Or he looked good or she looked good. The lesson is for you to go home now and realize you have another day, at least, or two, or a week, or a month, or years, and call your family and friends, your children, whatever, children call parents. I don't care what happened. Right or wrong, make amends. Dad, I love you, I'm sorry. Mom, so-and-so. Daughter, listen, we had a bad time, but let's put it aside. Life is too precious. You know how much funerals I do? People screaming down the place. I know it's grief, you know, but a lot have to do with regret. A lot. Family leave from away and come. You can't call to say, listen, how you going? But as soon as that person died, telling your boss, listen, I have to go and show my face. For what? The person died. They can't see you. You want to say your last respect to be able to sleep in the night or carry on the rest of your life. This is the lesson in my point of view. Go home and make the call. And if you're good with everybody, well, then you're okay. But put it aside. It doesn't matter who right or wrong. Make tomorrow count. You all agree with me? Make tomorrow count. We have a chance to make tomorrow count. So forgive. Hug your children. Children hug your parents. Hug husband and wife. Don't take it for granted. You never know what we're waiting for us tomorrow. Prem Subolo, Brindavan Bihai Lalaki. I hope the gist of Bhagavad Gita, in my limited knowledge, was understood by you, right? Right. At this point, I will offer the stage for Yekaresi Krishna thanks. Eulogy, I think the grandson. Huh? Ted Ramai. Yeah. Right. So I'll give him the stage and he will give something beautiful for his grandfather.
Testing. Greetings again. For those of you who don't know me, I am Ted. I am one of the grandchildren of Seeram Ramsundar, who I call Papi. We are here today not to mourn the death of Papi, but to celebrate the life of this wonderful man. Papi lived 82 long years, and he was married to Dulan, who many of you would know as Deep, for 61 years. 61 years of marriage. What a rarity for any time, but even more so in these times. A wonderful achievement. I knew Papi to be a humble, honest, and hard-working man. In the early days, Papi was a tailor by trade, but with his first child on the way, he wanted to make sure that he would be able to provide for his new family. So, he took up his cutlass and he headed to Carney Limited to cut tea. He was determined to work hard to make a living. A humble start, but his work ethic allowed him to move up the ranks first as a driver, then as a checker, and ultimately a foreman. He worked hard with the family in the forefront of his mind. A loving husband and father, his wife Doolin, his 3 children, Krishna, Sita, and Gita, were his everything. Their needs were always a priority in his life, even though it meant sometimes sacrificing what he wanted. Even though he was not a rich man, he was rich in so many other ways. A generous man, he gave all that he had to his family and tried his best to meet their needs. As his grandson, I have personally experienced this, even to this day. Once his family was happy, Papi was happy. He was a humble man and he enjoyed the simple things in life. The simple things in life brought him joy. I remember every morning he would get on his bike and go to buy his newspaper. He would come back home, sit in his hammock, contentedly enjoying his morning. He would enjoy a drink every once in a while, and my cousins would always laugh when he would come back after a line and wanted to dance with us. No one could show waist like Papi. Papi enjoyed his life, and he had many friends and many hobbies. He would go to catch fish in the Cunupia River with his friends Ben and Karen. Uncle Krishna was telling me the other day how he was designated to hold the bag for them to catch it when they catch the fish. He would also catch birds with fire and cassim. Uncle Sean was telling me about a secret bird catching technique that Papi had. It was interesting. He also loved to play cricket and he represented the Gillingham Junction cricket team, where he was known for his deadly medium pace. His stiff bowling gave him the nickname Wire by his teammates who knew him and those in the village as well. He was always up for a game of all fours, and his skills never left him. I remembered in his last days, when his memory was fading, he was still able to beat Uncle Krishna in a game of Rumi, which amazed us all. Though Papi is no longer with us, his memory and the lessons he taught us will remain. He was an example of how to live life humbly, honestly, and he worked as hard as much as he enjoyed his life. He will surely be missed, but we will always remember his example, and his legacy will live on.
Okay, Seeram again. So thank you for the beautiful eulogy. I always pay particular attention for the things I hear to make reference to it now. And the one that stands out, he was a fast bowling skill man called Wire. Wow. It is beautiful what you hear about people. I heard all the other things about him being able to fish and catch birds, but what struck me most, he started low and he grew, not so? So he ascended this ladder in his profession. And such, when I was speaking about Bhagavad Gita, remember I told you the whole point of this is to leave with knowledge, buddhi, which is intellect, because this is what you take with you. So unfortunately, Krishna, he taken the ability to still beat your golfers too. All right. But in all seriousness, we have come to the end of the service today, right? I know personally what it feels like because I've lost both my parents and a son. So it is not easy. So I know exactly what it feels like. And I remember when I just started doing funeral, I was tormented by it because, you know, I saw my parents in the box. So I can't explain this to you. Everybody goes through pain. But we do not know people when we meet on the outside because they are always happy and strong, or maybe somebody vexes when they get up. Be a little consoling to each other and a little more forgiving. Sometimes we are respectful to the people on the outside more than our own family, husband and wife. We vex, but when somebody bunks us in the road, oh, sorry, brother, you're going? Or when you're bound to churn up in your house, you're fighting and growling. So sometimes remind ourselves that you're lucky to have love, as I said, in your life in whatever form, might be pet, grandchild, daughter, husband, wife, parent. If you have it, cherish it. You work for that. This is karma. You are beautiful. God gave you a beautiful family. Uncle was beautiful in every sense that I knew. He was given 82 years and he had a wonderful life. He still has a wonderful wife, auntie, children, grandchildren. So he was a blessed man, you know. But that didn't come so. Lives go on before he have worked for this. So God gave him this life to enjoy. You follow? From here on, well, I have no idea what will happen. The Lord, Bhagavan Krishna, will determine what happens at the end of the year. But we always pray that anybody that we know, we do not want them to be recycled, to come back here. Let them go to the abode of Bhagavan Krishna, or heaven if you call it, that in your words, right? So, at this point, I'll ask everybody, class stands and close your eyes. When we conclude, those are welcome to come and make a quick viewing, shall do so. So, class stands and close your eyes as we conclude. We perform prarthana to Bhagavan Vishnu. Whatever we did today, we did in the benefit of the Atma of the late Mr. Seeram Ramsundar. Om Anadi Nedano Devaha Chanka Chakra Gadadaraha Akshaya Pundarikakshaha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Om Krishna Krishna Kripalo Twamagatinam Gatir Bhava Sansara Sarada Magnanam Prasida Purushotam Prem to Bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti Om Tat Sat Pret Atmaha Shanti. So, if I was at somebody's home, I will invite the crowd to quickly come to the box, and for order, we keep the right shoulder to the box, so you come with your right shoulder and you exit, so we don't have everybody bouncing up, right? So I'll give you all a few minutes, pay your last respects, because from here we will head straight to the Monroe Road site, right? So I'll welcome all of you quickly to come, while I will sing some things in the meanwhile. So I'll give you about 5 minutes.
We stop around for about 15 minutes.
Huh?
We stop around for about 15
Sure,
minutes
sure.
and then we go into the...
Yeah. I just given everybody here a chance, right? Immediate family, right first. So you could go for, yeah. Huh? Anything you want. Children, grandchildren first.
This life is a very short visit to our neighbor. This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still a stranger.
Help her, help her, help her.
I am Akela, or Jai Akela.
Thank you.
We'll keep it.